Imagine waking up in the middle of the night. Your family is sleeping beside you. The fire is almost gone. Outside the cave, the world is silent. No wind, no footsteps, nothing. Then, a low growl. You slowly turn toward the entrance. You cannot see anything. You reach for your spear. Your heart begins to race. Then, two eyes appear in the darkness. For a moment, neither you nor the animal moves. You are not hunting tonight. You are being hunted. Thousands of years ago, this was not a nightmare. It was part of the reality of human life. Our ancestors shared the landscape with powerful predators. Some were faster than humans, some were stronger, and some were perfectly adapted to hunting animals like us. The question was not simply, could humans hunt? It was, could humans avoid being hunted? The Ice Age was not a dead, frozen world. It was alive. Across the grasslands, enormous herds of mammoths moved across the landscape. Reindeer crossed frozen valleys. Wild horses gathered across open plains, and wherever prey moved, predators followed. Wolves hunted in groups. Large cats watched from cover. Hyenas searched for opportunities, and other predators, now extinct, occupied the same world as our ancestors. Humans were part of this ecosystem, but we were not physically dominant. We had no claws, no enormous jaws, no thick fur to protect us from every danger. A wounded animal could attract predators. A child separated from the group could become vulnerable. And even an experienced hunter could make one mistake and suddenly become the hunted. For early humans, survival meant more than finding food. It also meant avoiding becoming food. Among the predators that shared parts of Ice Age Eurasia with humans were giant cats, including the cave lion. Despite its name, the cave lion was not simply an animal that lived inside caves. It was a powerful predator of the open landscape. Large-bodied, strong, fast, and equipped with the jaws and teeth of a specialized hunter. Imagine crossing an open plain with only a wooden spear in your hands. Your group is somewhere behind you. The landscape appears empty. But an empty landscape does not mean a safe landscape. Somewhere beyond the grass, something may be watching. A predator does not always need to chase its prey immediately. Sometimes it only needs to wait and watch and choose the right moment. A small group of hunters moves through the grass. They are following tracks, fresh tracks. One hunter kneels. He touches the disturbed ground. The animals passed this way recently. The group continues, but they have missed something. Another set of tracks, larger, heavier, following the same direction. The hunters are tracking their prey, but something else is tracking them. Then, a bird suddenly bursts from the grass. The hunters stop. Everyone looks around. Nothing. Then, the grass moves. One hunter raises his spear. Another turns toward the sound, and suddenly they understand they are not alone. The predator moves. The hunters react. Everything happens at once. One man runs, then another, but one hunter falls behind. For a moment, the others could keep going. Then, someone turns back. He could run, or he could help. He stops, raises his spear, and the others stop too. Something changes. The group turns toward the threat. Spears rise, bodies move closer together. The predator expected a vulnerable individual. Instead, it finds several humans standing together. The animal advances. The humans hold their ground. No one knows what happens next, because this is not a battle they want. It is a confrontation they are trying to survive. The predator circles. The humans turn with it. Wherever the animal moves, the spears follow. One human alone would be vulnerable, but several humans watching together create a different kind of threat. They shout, they wave their weapons, they make themselves appear larger. The predator hesitates. A stone flies through the air. It lands nearby. The animal steps back. For several seconds, neither side moves. Then, the predator turns and disappears into the grass. The humans do not celebrate. They simply breathe, because they understand something without needing to say it. They survived the encounter, not because they were stronger, but because they stayed together.
But predators did not always attack during a hunt. Sometimes the most dangerous moments came when humans were vulnerable, when they slept, when someone was injured, when a child wandered too far, when a hunter became separated from the group. That meant humans had to notice more than animals. They had to notice the world around them. A broken branch, a disturbed patch of snow, a sudden movement in the grass, birds taking flight, an unfamiliar sound, or something even more disturbing, silence. The environment itself could become an early warning system, and humans learned to read it. A footprint in the snow was more than a footprint. It was information. The size could tell you what made it. The depth could reveal the animal's weight. The direction could show where it was going, and fresh tracks could tell you something even more important. It might still be nearby. A person who recognized those signs could warn an entire group. A hunter who noticed a predator before it attacked could change the route. A child who learned to recognize dangerous tracks could survive long enough to teach the same lesson to another child. Knowledge did something physical strength could not. It allowed humans to detect danger before danger arrived. And the more generations learned, the harder humans became to surprise. Then, there was fire. At night, fire changed the equation. Its light pushed back the darkness. Its heat brought people together. And its flames may have discouraged some predators from approaching too closely. But fire was not magic. It could go out. Wind could weaken it. Rain could extinguish it. And a careless mistake could destroy it. So someone had to protect it. Someone gathered wood. Someone maintained the embers. Someone watched the entrance. Someone stayed awake. Again, survival became a team effort. The fire was not simply a source of heat. It was a center of protection, a place where information was shared, a place where children learned, a place where the group stayed together. Over thousands of years, humans shared the landscape with countless predators.
Some disappeared, some survived, but the lesson remained. Humanity did not survive because we became the strongest animal. We survived because we became difficult to defeat. We communicated, we remembered, we planned, we watched for danger, we protected the vulnerable. And when one person was threatened, others could turn back.
The predator had claws, humans had weapons. The predator had speed, humans had fire. The predator had physical strength, humans had something different, each other. And that may have been one of the most important advantages our species ever developed. The cave is quiet again. The fire burns. The family sleeps. Outside, the predator is gone. For tonight, the humans have survived, but the wilderness has not become safer. The predators are still there, the hunger is still there, and the cold is waiting. Because humans would soon discover that an enemy does not always have teeth. Sometimes the most dangerous enemy is something you cannot fight, something you cannot scare away with fire, something that can cover an entire landscape. Winter. And when the temperature begins to fall, humanity will face a different kind of predator, one that cannot be hunted, one that cannot be frightened, one that can kill without ever being seen. This was the first age.